Hurghada is a popular and affordable holiday destination in Egypt, offering resorts and hotels for an all-inclusive, relaxing time away in the sun. But why stop there? Egypt is an incredible country with fascinating culture, history, architecture, and landscape, and it's definitely worth stepping outside of the hotel and resort bubble, even if it's just for a little bit. In this video, I'll give you a range of options that you can explore outside of the resorts and hotels of Hurghada, from easy options up to more challenging and adventurous options for those of you who are daring. So with that said, let's get right into it. So we were in Hurghada for 5 days in total as part of an 8.5-9-day trip to Egypt, with the remaining time spent in Cairo. And this video is a follow-on from a previous video I did about exploring Egypt and understanding the country a bit better, which I will leave up here, which I definitely recommend you watch, as well as this, to help understand Egypt in a bit more detail and plan your trip effectively. And so we stayed in the Hilton Plaza Hotel in the northern part of Hurghada, which is a fantastic resort. I mean, just take a look at these videos that I have right here. As you can see, incredible, comfortable, and a great place to stay. But that's what it's essentially designed to do. The resorts and the hotels of Hurghada, they have a great range of comfort, amenities, food and dining, such that you don't really need to leave the place. But as I say, if you are looking to experience Egypt in a bit more of an authentic way and experience that cultural and historic legacy that it has, you do need to step outside of the resort bubble to find that. Because by going to the likes of Hurghada or Sharm el-Sheikh, for example, and staying in the resort, yes, you can say you've been to Egypt and you had a trip to Egypt, but the authentic Egypt and its historical legacy is waiting out there for you to be explored, and you can explore that if you're willing to step outside of your hotel. And so starting with the easiest and working up to the more challenging and adventurous options that you have to explore Egypt outside of your hotel in Hurghada, here are a number of different options that you can look at. And these options are going to get progressively more adventurous and challenging as we go on. We're starting with some experiences that anybody can do and requires little to no planning, right up to some options that are more time consuming, require more planning, and that are quite challenging but totally worth doing if you're up for it. So we'll start with probably the easiest plan, which is to explore the center of Hurghada. Now, the center of Hurghada doesn't necessarily have a massive wow factor like a big city does, but it will nevertheless give you the chance to experience a flavor of everyday life in Egypt. You can experience Dahar bazaars, which are a number of shops and stores that offer souvenirs, spices, food, and more to buy local goods and experience the negotiating culture when buying things in Egypt. In the center, you've also got the stunning St. Shenouda Orthodox Church, which you can go in and visit, and honestly, the artwork inside the church is incredible. There are a number of mosques in the center of Hurghada as well. The biggest mosque is actually closer to the Hurghada Marina, which we'll talk about a bit later in the video, but the Mina Mosque is the biggest in Hurghada and is also very impressive from the outside, particularly at night when it's lit up. Definitely worth seeing. Of course, in the case of the mosque and the church as well, dress appropriately if you're planning to visit. And so if you're in the north of Hurghada, around where the Hilton is and other hotels, you can get there walking. It will be 30 minutes or so, or you can go in a taxi. I would recommend, as I did in my previous video, using an app like InDrive, which if you watch that video, you'll see all about how that works. It will ensure you don't get ripped off. And as I say, you can walk there, though it's not pedestrian friendly like certain European cities might be, let's say, but there are pavements so that you can walk there. And if you do walk as well, just be ready for taxi drivers to pull up alongside you, frequently asking you if you want a taxi, which of course you can tell them no. Next, there are a number of malls that you can experience in Hurghada as well, with the two most popular, or the biggest I would say, being Al Dao and Senzo. Now, we didn't actually visit these malls, but we saw the Senzo mall from the outside and it did look massive. You can see it's got a range of dining and shopping options as well, with popular brands on on sale there. So if you want to go and have a shopping trip whilst you're in Hurghada, then these two shopping centers are definitely worth checking out. Just before, we're talking about the Hurghada Marina, which is definitely worth visiting as well. So the marina area has a number of restaurants and you can walk around and explore there too. Very beautiful. Lots of boats, as you might expect, in the marina. And in the marina, you've got a number of operators that are offering boat trips and tours and excursions as well. It's a whole range of options here. So you have day trip options on the boat. You have sunset or dinner cruises on these little boats. You have island excursions, visiting the likes of Giftoon Island and Orange Bay. And you've also got what we did, which was a glass bottom boat trip. So going out of the marina into the Red Sea, heading down to the bottom of the boat and seeing all of the fish and the coral reefs swimming along. In some cases as well, you may be able to do snorkeling or scuba diving as part of these excursions and tours as well. I took that opportunity, tried to snorkel, didn't quite get it, but it was a great experience swimming in the Red Sea with a snorkel guide and getting to swim alongside the fish. The water wasn't as bad as I expected in January as well. And I can imagine in the summer months as well that the water is a lot warmer, but very good experience nevertheless. You also got one or two museums and indoor attractions in Hurghada, such as the Hurghada Museum and the aquarium. Now the Hurghada Museum, whilst we didn't go, is very affordable in terms of entry, 200 Egyptian pounds, so it's about €4, $5 per person. And it gives you an experience if you're not planning to visit the likes of Cairo, Aswan, Luxor during your time in Egypt, then it is a good chance to see some ancient Egyptian artifacts on display in a museum setting. They may not be as historically significant as the ones you'll find in some of these more popular destinations, but still, given the history and legacy of ancient Egypt, you'll find it fascinating. You've also got the Hurghada Aquarium, which offers a number of settings such as the rainforest, the marine aquarium, freshwater aquarium. You've also got a mini zoo, fossil hunting exhibit, and the opportunity to feed wildlife. Now the aquarium is notably more expensive than the Hurghada Museum. It's about $33 for an adult ticket and $16 for a child, so do keep that in mind if you're planning on going to the aquarium. Alright, so now we're getting into some of the slightly more adventurous plans, starting with what was probably one of the highlights of the trip for me, desert safari. So there's a lot of desert surrounding Hurghada, so you don't have to go very far. You're probably looking at about 45 minutes to an hour travel with coordinated transport and logistics as part of an organized tour, of course, I should say as well. So you don't have to go very far. And these desert safari experiences can take a number of forms. For example, it could include camel riding, it could include dune surfing, for example. You may have dinner and entertainment and possibly even stargazing in a Bedouin camp. Or as we did, there may be quad biking tours. And I really enjoyed the quad biking tour. We did it at sunrise as well, so we got to see the sun come up. We got to drive across the desert and across the main road as well, actually on the quad bike. So not really a luxury experience, certainly not the quad biking part. And obviously you'll get quite dusty and sandy being in the desert and you'll need to dress appropriately. But if you're looking for a bit of adventure and thrill, then definitely a great option. I would totally recommend it. And now we've gotten to what is probably the most adventurous and most challenging plan that you can make starting in Hurghada. Are day trips to other cities in Egypt, namely Luxor, Aswan, and even Cairo. And so if you do decide to do one of these day trips, you'll have, transportation included. You'll typically have food included as well. And you'll have tours of like the main sites as well. You may end up stopping at certain shops or bazaars, and it may be that the tour company has an informal agreement going on there. So just keep an eye out for that. I talked about that in the previous Egypt video as well. But essentially by booking on one of these tours, you get hotel pickup included in a lot of cases. So it's just a case of, turning up and then the rest is logistically taken care of for you, more or less. Do keep in mind though that these are very long trips. Luxor, for example, from Hurghada is 4 to 5 hours one way. And Cairo, if you're doing it by bus as well, is about 6 to 8 hours from Hurghada. So a very, very long trip. We did a full day trip to Luxor from Hurghada and we were probably out for about 15, 16 hours. We met a couple on that trip as well who did the Cairo day trip, and they said it was a 24-hour thing for them and they went by bus. Now Cairo, of course, you can fly there. It's only an hour to fly to Cairo from Hurghada. And I do believe there are groups that sometimes, travel by plane. I think we saw one in the airport. So it is possible. It's obviously just a case of checking what is doable energy, time management wise for you. And of course, flying is going to cost more than a bus as well. But what I would say about these trips is that they are quite physically demanding. There's a lot of logistics involved for it to work. But if you're on the fence about doing it, go for it. It is totally worth it, because places like Cairo, Aswan, Luxor are where the real treasures of Egypt are hidden. You get to go with a tour guide, see the main attractions, and get to experience Egypt to its fullest. You know, seeing the pyramids of Giza or the Valley of Kings in Luxor is about as full of an experience of Egypt that you can get when it comes to experiencing ancient history. And whilst it is logistically challenging and tiring, the memories will be so worth it, and once the day's done, you go back to your hotel or your resort and you can completely chill out for that evening and for the next day and recover. So there you go, guys, a range of options that are waiting for you in Hurghada outside of your hotel and resort. As you can see, you don't necessarily have to abandon the resort completely. Just 1 or 2 days outside or taking those steps outside can give you an authentic Egyptian experience during your trip. Leave a comment and let me know, have you been to Hurghada and what kind of activities did you do outside of your hotel or resort, and what would you recommend to others as well? And if you like this video and you want to see other travel videos, then be sure to check out these 2 videos here. So next time, I'll see you on the next one, and let's get this money.